The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a member of this working group led by our colleague Carlos Coelho, ably led by our colleague Carlos Coelho. And it's been indeed very interesting, the work we do there and the interaction with the Commission. I fully subscribe to the points that he has made, and in particular, the concerns he has highlighted regarding the situation of the UK and their access to, indeed, the Schengen information system, despite not being members, and the implications for the future in view of Brexit. I have been discovering incredibly surprising things and shocking things. And I'll just highlight three of them. One, a main member state, I won't say its name, who for some channels, because of the risk assessment made by the competent authorities, decided not to afford to grant Schengen visas to certain people, but still these people are found in the territory of that member state, and by other channels, which I don't know which, managed to get the Schengen access. It's a very serious, at least duplication of channels that in a way that, in my opinion, could undermine the system. Second question, a case that I can say the country, it's Malta. I brought the case not just to the working group but to the Commission directly with the information of a racketeering system to sell visas, Schengen, but possibly mostly national visas, by someone in the office of the Prime Minister, namely to Libyans, to Algerians and others. And of course, Malta being what it is, an island, anyone with a Maltese national visa can jump into a ferry and in a couple of hours be in mainland Italy, Pozzallo, Catania. Every day there are a number of ferries doing that connection with a national visa or with a Schengen visa acquired by bribing an official. That official is known, the name is Neville Gaffer. He just went to Libya last week pretending to be an envoy of the Prime Minister of Malta. The Prime Minister denied that he had sent an envoy. that's how he was portrayed in the media of Libya, and where he was received by the Minister of Interior, the Minister of Health, and someone else. As the envoy of the Prime Minister of Malta. Something very odd is here. But what is really shocking is that in face of all the evidence and the data, the documents that we have produced on that, and there is a case in court in Malta on that, the Commission says it knows nothing and it has no way to control. I think really that the Commission here is very, very oblivious of the tremendous risks involved. And it's not acceptable, this position of the Commission, and I have it in writing by Commissioner Avramopoulos, and we heard it in our working group by the representative of the Commission, and I do not accept that attempt by the Commission to relinquish responsibility on a matter that really compromises the integrity of the Schengen system, and it's simply not acceptable. Then the third question is Ceuta and Melilla. You and I, with other colleagues, went to Melilla, not yet to Ceuta. It's a very challenging situation because it's the two only territories that are located in the north of Africa that are surrounded by huge fences, barbed wire, and still vulnerable to all sorts of, namely the management of that the criminal networks make of indeed the afflux of migrants and asylum seekers. And tremendous effort for the Spanish authorities, tremendous effort, We saw that. But no European institutions, Frontex or others helping. And yet this is a European border. It really shocked me that, of course, all this paraphernalia is there because of this is Europe, with all the tremendous implications this has, including the way the controls are exercised by the national authorities, but that the European institutions such as Frontex and the Commission would be, in a way, absent, not paying attention to what is done, is really gobsmacking. I don't need to mention the question of golden visas. I don't need to mention the fact that by not having a PNR that indeed encompasses private flights, what is happening in aerodromes in many of our member states in terms of indeed the violations to the Schengen system is simply left out of control. But I believe these are already very serious matters that would require a different approach by the Commission.